Hello and welcome back to the SCG Riftbound 10K. I am here. I'm Blevins. This is Charmer, and we're here for round number 3, Charmer.
Yes, we are in fact here for round number 3. I'm very excited to jump into this because we've already seen some amazing games on the broadcast. And when I've not been casting, I had the pleasure of walking around some of the tables. A good amount of deck variety. I expected a lot more Kaisa than I saw necessarily, but we are going to see Kaisa on the broadcast again. We have Ali A taking on Enrique B. Ali on Kaisa, of course, and now
we're jumping right into it.
Yeah, we have our first Master Yi of the broadcast as well.
Okay, yeah, and for those who don't know, Ali A, Ali Eldrazi on Twitter, old school MTG SCG grinder. Back in my day, they were playing Cawblade Mirrors, long time ago, but we're seeing here the Cawblade of Riftbound in Kaisa.
Yeah, it's funny that you did your old man voice for that because Cawblade is actually too new of a reference for my Magic stuff. But we have the Watchful Sentry going into the Void Gate, so just going to point out that the battlefields for this Game 1 are Void Gate, and I believe that's Aspirant's Climb on the other side.
So we're playing a long game, and we are getting extra damage on that Void Gate from spells here. Of course, you know, Kaisa wanted to come out to an early swing here, but we see the Confront play. That makes me think that this might actually be an Aurora Yi. It tends to be a piece of tech in the Aurora. There it is.
In hand.
Yes, I love it. Absolutely love it.
In this particular situation, the Confront is essentially pay 2 energy and draw a card because there will be no other units following this up. And that, if Ali is aware, will signal Ali to start racing on the points. Yeah, now has to be aware. Seeing double Confront with no units coming down, Ali has to be tipped. This must be the Aurora Yi. Yeah,
must be Aurora Yi or a very, very slow start. I mean, unlikely to run the double Confront in the main deck if you are the traditional mid-range or Eggplant Yi, which this would be a particularly horrid start if that were the case. But Ali now going to, like you said, be off to the races, get as many points as they can. But we are going into the 2, 4, 6, 8. That is a Dead Bloom turn.
That is a Dead Bloom turn. If you want to do it with the Aurora in hand, and because you're on Aspirant's Climb, might be willing to just go 1 turn further.
Right.
Because if you don't have any sort of ramp to get you the rune back off of the Dead Bloom, you'd still be put off from getting the Aurora down. It's kind of a weird timing in terms of your runes available. Ali going to develop a Kaisa, and then because of the Legion, also the Hopeful. So a lot of units on the side of Ali already.
Yeah, absolutely, Ali. I think at this point, you know what's coming. You're either going to be seeing, I mean, this is the Dead Bloom turn. Ali saying, you know what, we're just going to allow that to happen. If so, that will put you off. But also, Master Yi does a good job of actually threading the needle there, getting an accelerated threat that is able to contest with the Kaisa and allow for that Dazzling Aurora next turn, which really, with, like you said, that Aspirant's Climb may give Enrique enough time to claw back into this game.
I'm actually very excited to see this version of Yi because yesterday when we were doing our kind of live stream preview of the event, I specifically called out, hey, is there a chance that we see the Aurora versions of Yi? Because we have seen them pop up at times.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised that's the first one we saw on the broadcast.
Right. And we missed it here, but it was a charm on the backline. Kaisa saying Yi does not, just wants the double kill for this turn. Kills 2 Kaisas, which doesn't really make sense in league terms, but still double kill on the Kaisas there. But that does take Enrique off of the Dazzling Aurora. But I think if we've already seen a Dead Bloom, you're probably pretty fine just jamming a Dead Bloom if you need to.
Yeah, I think that the thought process was if I get rid of the Kaisa on the back line, then they can't send that and the Hopeful in to reconquer where the Yi is. Here, however, Ali does have the Darius from hand plus the Cleave, so this will be enough to still get there. And unfortunately, for Enrique, this is going to put them way behind. Ali already up to 5 points, even with Aspirant's Climb. That is still past the halfway point.
Yep. Yeah, this is also an awkward break point for the Dead Bloom. 5 from the Darius, 4 from the Noxus Hopeful. Dead Bloom, of course, only 8. 8 is, last time I checked, fewer than 9, less than 9 here, so just going to have to take out the Watchful Sentry, which, I mean, hey, you'll take a battlefield where you can get it, you'll take your points where you can get it, but I think Ali is fine with this exchange, considering they're also going to draw a card at the end of it.
Yeah, and you do have to wonder if the charm will come back to haunt Enrique. I understand the thought process. You just wanted to make it not an easy retake, but knowing that Kaisa runs these Darius, has a lot of accelerate and or spells that could have potentially cleared it up, by taking you away from getting your Aurora developed, Enrique now is going to be struggling to stabilize. A lot of times you give up the early points to get the Aurora developed and then rely on those free big bodies to get you back into the game. But because Enrique has so far just been playing everything manually, it is a big hill to climb. Pun very intended with Aspirant's Climb out there for Enrique to get back into this.
Oh, and are we going to see the most expensive Falling Star? Here we go, Falling Starring.
Onto the Dead Bloom, and this is actually massive because that's a Void Gate. This Falling Star actually cleans
That's right.
the Dead Bloom up.
Yeah, it should clean up, right? Are we missing something?
Unless I'm mistaken, but I thought Void Gate was each instance of damage.
Right.
Well, not just the first.
In any case, for those screaming in the chat, we don't have the ability to impact the match. So what has happened, and here we are. I mean, still, I think an absolutely massive spot for Ali. Here we go. We've got the Void Gate here. Spells and abilities affecting units here each deal 1 bonus damage. So each instance of damage. So technically, the Falling Star should have actually killed the Dead Bloom there, because that Master Yi does not help you with spell damage.
No, it does not. You are not defending from spells. You are just taking them in. Yeah, and I think they're actually having the discussion now, because I saw him point to the Void Gate, but we are just going to move on. Enrique still not in a position to get this Aurora down.
No, can't get the Aurora down. And even if they could, we'd go up to 7 on the hold. I guess if there was a Dead Bloom that that actually wouldn't change things.
Well, it wouldn't change the board position directly right away, but it would at least give you more outs. The biggest issue now is that even if you do something else, you can't then play Aurora next turn because you're going to be stuck in a position where you have to clear out likely both battlefields.
It has played out this way that Charm 3 turns ago essentially also read discard this Dazzling Aurora in the Dazzling Aurora Yi deck. It looks like Enrique in the tank here has a grip full of cards, but I see Dazzling Aurora, I see 2 Dragons, I see at least 1 Defy here.
Yeah, again, the problem is none of it is going to be board presence to clear these things out. Right. These White Flames are great when you already have units and you can buff 1 to go in for the retake, but Enrique has no units on board. Again, just the 1 Dead Bloom that was hard casted.
Yeah, this is a corner I've painted myself into many times this specific weekend, where I go, oh, well, I could just cast this card here innocuously on turn 3, and then I go, oh wait, this throws off my Darius Cleave turn. This also throws off this turn, and now I'm behind by 1.
And Enrique has done the math and is saying, all right, we're going to go to game 2. And this, I will say, is one of the things that I love about Riftbound. The resource system in this game is very skill testing. It catches, I think, a lot of people off guard, especially if you're coming from other games, because you have to worry about energy, but also the power. And when you are recycling those runes, your curve, if you will, gets thrown off, right? You can't just count on always going 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, because as you're paying for those powers, you can really delay things. And we saw that there with Enrique falling behind and never getting that Aurora played despite having it early.
No, I mean, this is something that we see, in other games. The top elite level players, they understand the micro game of what's happening right here. They also understand the macro game of what is the game plan for this deck. How do I actually win the match? Enrique said, hey, this is an efficient play. I'm using all of my energy this turn. I'm casting 2 spells this turn. I'm clearing the board. that was a great micro plan, but in the macro plan, as we saw it play out, that said no more Aurora, no more just being that turn behind was not helpful there for Enrique as we go into the sideboarding here for game number 2, Charmer.
Yeah, and as they go into the sideboard, before when we saw the Misfortune Aurora on the broadcast, we kind of talked about potentially thermal beams coming in from the sideboard. This is an interesting spot because Ali likely has pegged this as Aurora Yi, but never actually saw the Aurora
Never
hit
saw
play.
it, but we will.
You have to assume it's there, though.
Yeah, you have to assume it's there, but we are ready to jump right in to game number 2 here. Ali on Kaisa, Enrique B on the Aurora Yi. Looks like we have Targon's Peak and Sigil of the Storm here for both of the players' battlefields.
Now, Sigil of the Storm on the side of Enrique, perhaps looking for a better start, a faster start. We do see a Catalyst here, so that will likely be the turn 2 play, really speed things up. We have a Raven Bloom on the side of Ali to start things off.
Yeah, little RBS, Raven Bloom student there. Delicious 2-drop, one of the best just cards in the game. It can get a lot bigger than you would think, and it also is really hard to do the math to factor in how many spells does my opponent have, how big is this Raven Bloom student actually going to end up being when I'm contesting. It's innocuously one of the best cards in the game.
And Ali now, I was going to say, has 5 runes available, so we could just see an accelerated Kaisa. Again, knowing that this is likely a late game Yi based on game 1, you just want to start doing this 2 points per turn game plan for as long as Enrique allows it to happen. Kaisa goes in, gets that conquer and the draw. And I have to assume that the manager at the local Arby's will be going to the other battlefield. That is the case.
Yep.
Now this one, again, because it's Sigil, there has to be the recycle of a rune. So between that and the Accelerate, Ali goes back down to 3 runes. But I think trading runes for points against the Aurora deck is fine.
Oh, and we're trading another rune here for a hidden card. I believe that is a draw 2 on the side of Ali here. So trading a rune for 2 more cards. Ali, saying, hey, you know what? These runes, I'll get runes every turn, but I need variety here to deal with what the Master Yi is going to be sending. And we see Eggplant Man. There it is. Tails.
Tasty Fae Folk.
Tasty Fae Folk. There it is. Eggplant Man coming in, contesting the Kaisa. Is Ali going to be able to do anything? Could recall. Yep. There we go. Retreat.
Yeah, so we have the retreat. The hidden card was, in fact, the draw 2 cards. So Ali got to draw 2, return the Kaisa, and channel a rune.
Yep.
But Enrique does get some board presence. That's a pretty big deal. Okay. The nice thing about the Tasty Fae Folk here is that if that unit does end up perishing, the Death Knell on it still helps your game plan quite a bit between the draw and the channeling of runes as well. So if you are going to have some sort of early play that's not an Aurora, that's probably your best one. Yeah,
but Enrique is on 2, 4, 6, 7. Plus 2 is going to be 9. That's Aurora time if it is in the hand of Enrique. Let's take a look. Get a hold point.
All right, so I see a Zonia's, a Draw of a Discipline, a Wind Wall. Looks like a pair of White Flames, so no Aurora.
Yeah.
There was one other card in there that costed 3 energy. I couldn't quite catch it, but we instead see the Master Yi get developed from the Champion Zone, and that's going to go visit your local Arby's, try to get rid of that Raven Bloom.
Yep, Raven Bloom going to retreat here. It's another point for Enrique. And this is the scenario that Master Yi really wants to get into. 2 big units, each defending their respective battlefields. That Master Yi passive ability coming in here, and Ali, made backs a lot of those runes and has a lot of cards in hand. But you need to be able to go over the top if you're going to deal with Yi.
So interesting. Looking at the hand of Ali, the sideboarding appears to just be big bombs. We have a Mundo as well as 2 of the mechs, the 7 costs They're pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah,
They have no
Mega
text.
Mech.
They're Mega Mechs. They're just a 7-cost 8 might, but sometimes that is good enough. 8 is a pretty interesting break point because it's bigger than Watchers and things like that in certain matchups. I've seen these been making their way into the sideboard of Kaisa players, but having 2 come in against this Yi says Ali wants to just go over the top. Maybe run the Aurora player out of those big units.
Right. Well, I will say, I got to correct you there, Charmer. Mega Mech does have an ability. It is keyword big.
Yeah.
That's good enough right now.
It's keyword it trades with Dead Blooms is what it is.
Well, not if Master Yi is defending alone.
But we have development of a number of smaller units here. So to catch you back up on the action, 2 lecturing Yordles, both drawing a card, and then a Ravenbloom student comes back down. So Enrique will get points for a double hold here, and that is not what you want to see if you're Ali. Like, yes, you have a number of smaller units on the board, but you really wanted to be in the lead in terms of points. You kind of wanted that early game tempo. The fact that Enrique has so many points already without an Aurora has to be pretty alarming.
Yeah, very alarming. We see the Zhonya's develop. So now, the normal course of play here would be something like a Watcher from Ali, clear the board, get a couple of points to get somewhat back in the game, and hope that Enrique's left with nothing. Well, at the very least, they're going to be left with either an Eggplant Man or Master Yi, depending on what they choose there with that Zhonya's.
Well, I think that the Zhonya's wants to always be for the Yi because the Death Knell on the Tasty Fey Folk is very tasty.
Also, it's Ali that ends up getting to choose because they choose which order attacks, and you don't get to choose the Zhonya's. It just pops.
It does, in fact, just pop. So I would expect this to be into the Tasty here first if I was Ali. We have a Watcher coming down, so the mites are reduced for the other 2. We see the die is a 5. Now, if you're wondering why that's the case, it's because they're probably counting the bonus for defending from Master Yi
It actually ends up only being -1, but that's still pretty good.
Still pretty good. Now, also, if you're at home and you're wondering why Enrique played that Zhonya's face up, because very often you see players play it hidden, it's likely because they did not want to, again, pay the power cost, right? You want the most runes you can get when you're playing these big, expensive cards and looking for your Aurora, so I actually really liked that play.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw last game was a textbook reason of the 1 power absolutely can and will matter.
Oh, okay. So Watcher goes in alone here, and this discipline from Enrique.
Oh.
Yeah, forces the cleave.
Yeah. Which, is still okay for Ali, but that could throw off the calculations. It's another card being spent. It's another resource being spent on this turn. Suppose we'll have to see. Did we get the triggers from the Ravenbloom here? How many more resources are we going to have to spend here to take out this Master Yi?
Well, there is another cleave in hand, so there will absolutely be enough power to get it done. I like doing this just on the Kaisa anyway because you want that draw for the Conquer. The rest of the hand is a little bit clunky, but as weird as this sounds, with no Aurora on the side of Enrique, Ali might be in a position where they can continue to just play bigger units.
Right.
Because we have the mechs.
Yeah.
And the other key thing about the mechs is they're not chewing up power.
Right. Absolutely.
There's also the Mundo in hand, and there's already this Watcher on the board. If Enrique doesn't, find an Aurora soon to just start getting those free plays on top of everything else, Ali could just out-big the Aurora Yi player.
Absolutely. And one other key thing on the side of Enrique is that number up in the top right. That is a 5, which is notably not 6. 5, I believe it was Jim Davis who said it, is the worst number in Riftbound. It's the worst point total to be at because it is a 2-turn clock, which is even a single extra turn can make the absolute difference in a game of Riftbound.
Unless you're on, like, Ride the Wind, Tryndamere combo or something, then 5 doesn't matter. And I say that because I know how much you love it. But we do have a combat that occurs, so I want to call it out. White Flame comes down, buffs the Tasty Fey Folk, and then that goes into the Watcher, cleaning that up. And we're going to hide a card now on the side of Enrique over there.
Yeah, I think that's
Which
likely.
I believe is another Zonia's, if I remember correctly.
I would imagine so. Getting a hold point here for Ollie, getting up to 4, which is good. But how are we going to contest this Fey Folk? And then even after that, how are we going to contest the Fey Folk again, plus that White Flame Protector? I do see double Darius in hand. It's not a bad way.
Yeah, looks like 1 rune short of just being able to play both.
Yep.
Because that would be a massive, 14 might instantly readied. We could see a situation where perhaps Ali just develops one of the mechs this turn and then tries to push. But the problem with that is if you give Enrique this hold point, if you don't retake that, then they only have to conquer the other spot.
Exactly.
So it's worth noting that when you score your 8th point, it's not that you have to have conquered both battlefields, you have to have scored them. So if you hold from 6 to 7 and then conquer the other, that is still a victory.
Yep, absolutely. So yes, Ali is not afforded the luxury of time here, which is, it's obviously not ideal, but it also means, you're not able to play around everything. Ali is backs to the wall. You have to go for these things. So if Enrique does not have these answers, Ollie's just going to play face up, basically.
All right, so that was a Zonia's. The Tasty Fey Folk is saved, and Ollie didn't have enough to make the Darius survive either. So this was literally just a play to not lose the game on the side of Ollie and buy some more time.
Okay. Looks like there's maybe a bit of a dispute here. Looks like a judge is being...
I'm wondering if... So the issue here is that the Zonia's is hidden, and technically you have to play it first and then have the trigger. And perhaps Enrique did not signal, hey, this is playing, and thought it would automatically trigger. And the way that hidden cards work is if you no longer control a battlefield, then the hidden cards just go to the trash. So it is very important in these interactions for you to say during the showdown, like, as a reaction, I play my hidden card. So we do see the judge call. They'll likely be talking through it. And, based on hand gestures alone, it's hard for us to figure one out or the other. But that is something that has to happen. It's not an automatic trigger with Zonia's. You do still have to play it as the reaction during the showdown.
Yep. The revealing the hidden is not an automatic trigger. It is an Zonia's itself is an automatic trigger. If that wasn't easy enough, that wasn't simple enough, there is multiple levels of sometimes automatic and sometimes not automatic triggers.
And if you're coming from League of Legends, just having Zonia's in your inventory doesn't matter if you never click the button to activate it. And I, as a bad player, know this very well.
See, I, as an even worse player, don't buy items with activated abilities because I don't want to press another button. Because I won't press another button.
Does not surprise me whatsoever.
Give me a Bloodthirster or nothing else. Bloodthirster might even have an activated ability now. Back in my day, it didn't.
Back in your day during Cawblade mirrors that are still too new for me?
It was right around the same time as Cawblade mirrors, actually, that I played League of Legends.
That does also not surprise me. So again, still talking through this here, and I believe... All right, so I think that the ruling ultimately ends up being that because, again, it was not... played. So again, the hidden card has to be played during the showdown, and then the Zonia's would trigger. Does not look like that happened. So I think it's just going to be a trade with the Zonia's going away. But what that also would then mean for Enrique, this is not necessarily all things bad. There should now be a trigger of a death knell.
Right, there should be.
And I'm not seeing that. So
maybe it is all bad, Well, look.
Interesting.
Yes. Look, at the end of the day, this is a high-level event. This is the biggest Riftbound event we've had in North America so far. So this is at competitive rules enforcement level. So the long and short of it is be very precise with your plays.
Yes.
And I know, obviously, new game, there's growing pains with all of that. That's to be expected. But at the end of the day, we're playing at the highest level right now. So gotta maintain that to some extent.
The interesting bit there is that it would have also, like, the rune really doesn't matter because he's already at max, but would have also got the draw. So could theoretically be one card deeper, but uses the White Flame Protector to go up to 7 if Enrique can find a way to score the sigil.
Yeah, or we can just hold. we can do keyword big ourselves.
Yeah.
Technically, at one point in time, 24 might on that on that battlefield. Now back down to a measly 16.
And I do like this play because, again, you do win through holding. So you're essentially saying, hey, you've got to go over get to at least 16 to clear them. Over 16 if you also want to conquer, and Ollie needs the points. But there's also still 4 runes up on the side of Enrique, and we have seen combat tricks played like Discipline, and in this case we now see the Defy as well.
Yeah, I like the Defy here. It not only keeps a point of might on your board, it also denies a draw.
Well, it also denies 2 might to the Ravenblooms.
Right.
So, again, cards are only played when they resolve in this game. Right. So when that was defied, that should not have counted as a trigger for the Ravenblooms.
You're absolutely right. It does look as though potentially...
and again, reminder for folks at home, we cannot impact the game. We are
this also,
observers.
Draven actually should be...
on the board, because I think you mean Darius, not Draven.
Yeah. No, I meant Draven. Draven should be in this deck because Draven's a great card.
Oh, this broadcast is falling apart with all of the confusion. We're trying to stay in it. Okay, so, I was going to say, I think we see a judge call now, and they might be trying to figure out exactly that, the stacks on the Ravenbloom. Yeah. So, again, if you're watching at home, proper rules is in Riftbound, cards are not considered played until they resolve. Right. So if you attempt to cast a spell and it is defied or windwalled, then that would not count for a Ravenbloom trigger, for example.
Yep, that makes sense. And also, but I believe it would count as the second card. Well, maybe
no, because you still have to have played 2 cards.
Okay, so Darius is properly readied with +2 might here.
Only if 2 cards have resolved.
Right, and Darius being the second one in this case, so yes.
What was the first one?
The first one was the Void Seeker.
Okay,
that was just played. Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
So Ravenblue should have +1 might, and then the Darius counting himself would do the second.
So everything, yes, that you accurately dictated, and I'm just going to say, Charmer, you made this correct. Even though we have no ability to do that, I'm saying you did.
All right, well. I just know, again, this is our first real big event here, besides, of course, the other one that was happening concurrently this weekend over in Georgia. And there's a lot of things that our viewers are likely learning from as well. And so when we can, want to try to call things out as best we can.
Yep.
So a lot of might trying to come in to this battlefield.
7, 11 plus 6 is 17 by my count.
Which would be enough.
Right, which would be 1 more than 16.
1 more than 16, and then that 4 is the, obviously, 4 damage on the White Flames. Now, this is interesting on the side of Enrique because you get to choose where the damage goes.
Right.
And now this is just me. Doesn't mean it's correct, but I would have assumed that you would have wanted to not leave the Kaisa to prevent the draw for the Conquer.
My inclination is the same as that, but also Ravenbloom Student, very scary, especially with a grip full of cards. I guess it's a bit of a moot point, although that extra card could matter, but Deadbloom Predator able to come in, not able to get the winning point because both battlefields were not scored at this turn, but still
should result in a card drawn, however.
Yep.
So if you're at 7 and you conquer the first battlefield, but you are not winning the game, then the trigger is, instead of getting a point, you would draw a card for that.
Yep.
And we are back to Ali, who's trying to not just not lose, but again, score points as well, trying to claw back into this, still only down at 5. As you said earlier, perhaps the worst point total in Riftbound.
Yep.
And I think that's a scoop on the side of Ali based on the hand. So we're going to be going to Game 3. This series has been, I think, very fun and also a little bit messy, but in the best of ways. So I'm very excited to see what we get as our Game 3 in the series.
Yeah, this is, again, it's a high-level event. but we are going through growing pains. We're sort of in that up and down here, so we're going to roll with the punches as we take them. But yeah, this was a great match. We saw, I believe we would call it a slobber knocker. We saw, big drops. We didn't end up seeing the Mega Mech come down, but it was threatening to be there at all times. As we jump on into game number 3, the decider here. Ali A on Kaisa, Enrique B on Master Yi, the 2 juggernauts of the format coming into this event.
We are in game 3 of the series, and I would like to point out that there has been 0 Auroras resolved.
True.
Again, if you're just tuning in, this is a dazzling Aurora version of Yi, though Enrique has not been able to get one on the board successfully.
No, not yet.
And our battlefields as we go into this deciding game of the series are Obelisk of Power and Reaver's Row. I would argue 2 premier battlefields for each deck. Obelisk allowing for runes to be faster gained by Enrique, and then on Ali's side, with all these great conquer effects, Reaver's Row can be very effective as well.
Yeah, Reaver's Row allows you to essentially be more aggressive with your Kaisas to draw cards, also more aggressive with just any of your units to get a point, because, if they're threatening that Dead Bloom turn, you go, okay, I will bravely run away from the Reaver's Row and not give up that material to be able to set up for a bigger swing on a following turn here. So definitely premier, like you said, battlefields for both players.
So the Sentry will head on over to Reaver's Row. Now, if I'm on the side of Enrique and I see that, that tells me that the unit quality might not be the best on Ali's side, because a lot of times when you see the Sentry, they are sacrificial. You kind of want them to cycle. So if somebody is going to conquer that spot, you might not want to save it, right? You could just want to draw the card instead, but because it's on the Reaver's Row, that tells me, all right, I might not have as many good bodies as I want.
Right.
So I would like to preserve my might in these early stages. And we have a tasty Fae Folk coming down, but this is not accelerated as it's just 7 runes on the side of Enrique.
Yeah, Eggplant Man coming down, going to be threatening here, but threatening at the cost of Ali effectively getting 2 more points. We're going to get 1 from the hold. I would imagine 1 from a Conquer here. We shall see, though.
Now, the, again, plus side potentially for Enrique is that the Tasty Fae Folk has that Death Knell, which could provide runes, could allow a dig. 7 does mean we're going to 9 next turn, so Enrique, depending on the hand, could be developing a Dazzling Aurora for the first time in this series.
Yep. Here we see another judge call. Just from hand gesturing, it looks like they're maybe wondering if if a card has been drawn from the Yordle or not.
Yeah, because they keep gesturing toward that. So
yeah, that's what it looks
I
like.
think that the reason that you see the counting, if I had to guess, is they're saying how many cards would you have at this point in the game. They're early enough that they could say, 4 for the starting, your draws for the turn. Do I have the one for the Yordle, et cetera. So they are going to talk that through. And at some point, it's not just the Yordle that will be lecturing, but it'll probably be the judge as well, saying, hey, remember your triggers.
Yeah. Again, I mean, this is the first big event in North America, the biggest event so far in North America here at SCG Con. But yeah, it's growing pains, and we'll get to that point at some point. But we are playing at a high level. Looks like there was a resolution here, and we are going into Ali's next turn.
And in the hand, we see a Kaisa, a Watcher, and a Stupefy. So Ali has access to a fair amount of Accelerate. Just drew some more cards there, so we picked up the Falling Star and a Watchful Sentry.
Yeah. Saw a Falling Star there. Looks like, let's just take out the Eggplant Man while there is no Zhonya's out, being able to clear the board and force your opponent to have to develop on a later turn rather than just allowing them to get a free buy with the Zanyas is certainly a way to get ahead here. Again, Ali's going to want to race to as many points as possible here.
What I was about to say is, more importantly, like, yes, you're giving up that death knell. However, because Enrique never got to use that Fey Folk to retake a battlefield, now Ali has 3 points to Enrique's 0. And even if Enrique has an Aurora or something like a Dead Bloom here, you still can't deal with both battlefields, right? Ali's trying to ride as many points as possible for as long as possible, because the moment that Enrique gets to a point where an Aurora is active, it becomes a much bigger uphill climb. Now, the good news for Ali is there's a lot of tools in Kaisa decks to combat Auroras, even after they've come down. We've seen one of them in the hand in the form of the Watcher, but I think right now Ali is fine with using these spells to just continue to create this points gap.
Yeah. Well, Ali is going to be trying to get to that crucial 6 points. Now, of course, can only get up to 5 on this turn, but it's going to be an uphill battle to even get to that point, given that Watcher there. But when you're so far ahead, you can really sort of take a breath, allow, hey, if Enrique gets a couple of hold points, that's fine. I'm winning this race. If all things stay the same, I'm going to win this race holding. If we each hold a battlefield this turn. So Ali really needs to set up and figure out, how am I going to end the game? What am I going to do to end the game and keep this point flow coming until I get to that 6 points Watcher double conquer game?
Now, I really like this game plan from Ali. We'll give up the hold point, like you said, but developed another Kaisa and a Watchful Sentry. And so on the following turn, we could see something where some spells as support, if drawn, could pump up the Raven Bloom. We could also see like the Watcher come down, which would lower the might. And then if we see Ali go in and conquer that battlefield, if there's a situation where both Kaisa survive, you draw some additional cards. Because I will say Ali's hand is getting a little small for a Kaisa player. Typically we see them with a fistful of cards. Ali is down to, I think, just 3 in hand right now, which, you know, is fine, but it's just low for a Kaisa player.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is Cleave and a Stupefy and another card I did not quite catch, which are certainly helpful. Looks like we're likely going to get another Zanyas here on the side of Enrique, which means these units are likely staying on the board.
There we go. I was going to say there also should be 3 points because Enrique should have had the hold plus the conquer from Yi, but they did just update it. So we are back to Ali's turn, and another Falling Star.
That's big.
And then there's a Cleave, a Stupefy, and a Watcher. I think we're hitting the point where a lot of bodies will be crashing into each other.
Okay.
Clash of the Titans on its way, Thousand Tail Watcher coming down and will be accelerated. There is also still the 1 rune available for either the Stupefy or the Cleave if needed.
Yeah, this is the turn, you know, ideally you would cast Watcher, take points 7 and 8 and win the game, but getting from 4 to 6 is just as important in a lot of ways. And also pseudo dealing with the board. I mean, what actually might happen is Yi will back from the Reaver's Row, Zanyas will save the Dead Bloom Predator, and we may just be in the same spot. Ali not actually having cleared any of the board, but getting the crucial 6 point.
Yeah, would be up to 6 points, as you pointed out. Would also force Enrique to put those units into danger to retake, and that's important because right now, if you're just tuning in, the dice on the side represent the might if they go to combat, and even though a Watcher was played, it's still relatively high because they are single defenders for Yi, but on the retake, they will not get that bonus might. They will be a bit more vulnerable. So I do think that Ali would benefit from still, not going to kill either of these units when all is said and done, but forcing them off, getting up to 6, and then potentially forcing Enrique into a weird situation on a retake, depending on what you decide to hold with.
Yep, and if I had to guess based on posturing, it looked to me like Ali is wondering if the Zanyas gets played, can the Zanyas save the Master Yi, even though it's on another battlefield? And of course, that is the case. Zanyas is the weird hidden card that can actually impact
the other battlefield.
other
Because when
battlefield.
it's played, if you're at home, when it's played, it just enters your arena as a gear.
Yep.
It is not played technically at that battlefield. It's played to your gear zone, and then just the next thing that would die gets saved.
Yep.
But as you had pointed out before as well, with the Reaver's Row, it kind of doesn't matter because Yi was
Right.
always going to run away anyway.
Okay, discipline coming in on the Dead Bloom. Let's put up to 9. That's going to force the cleave here. Do we have a defy on the side of Enrique? Because that might just seal this. At least this combat.
Yeah, this discipline was massive for Enrique, and as you said, will force this cleave. I like the cleave. Could have also went with a stupefy, but at this point, I don't think you want to risk them also having maybe another discipline. There are 2 runes up.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a defy. I see a couple find your centers, a white flame, a catalyst.
Yeah, I don't see a follow-up that will help with the cleave.
No.
So,
Okay,
does actually play.
Yep. Does play the Zanyas.
So the Dead Bloom is killing the Watchful because the cleave was played on on the Watcher.
Yes.
So there would not have been enough might to get there.
Right. So the cleave, even better.
Yeah, even better because you save your big unit and then you get the draw card off the Death Knell from your Sentry as well. Ali would like to dig for some more answers. And assuming all of this goes in, could even draw 2 cards up from the Kaisas here. This is kind of a tough spot because you don't want to overcommit and then get blown out by something like another Dead Bloom from hand.
Right.
But you also still need to ensure that you can get the job done. Enrique does still have runes up.
Okay, Ali just going through the cards that could possibly be there. Okay, and
All right.
Enrique allows the trade to happen, does not do the Reaver's Row.
Yeah, does not save the Yi from the Reaver's Row. So that tells me that Enrique just wanted to deny one of the draws from the Kaisa more than they wanted to save the Yi. And again, could very well be the right play.
Yeah.
Just one that we want to highlight because I think you and I both thought saving the body was like a no-brainer. But as I think about it, if you're more worried about Ali finding more answers than denying a draw could be the way to get there.
Well, and the other thing, too, is that, Yi's not going to be better on offense like we've mentioned before, so the Yi probably going to need to crash in again. You might as well just take the trade when you can, when the getting's good, when you actually have that Yi buff. I guess technically it'd be 1 bigger with the lack of Watcher debuff, but for the most part, I think that trade's going to happen anyhow. So just denying the draw and going from there.
Now with Ali at 6 points, we saw the 1 energy cost find your center. So Enrique channeled a rune and drew a card. Was, I think, just trying to find, a better play than this White Flame, but ultimately going to develop the White Flame, which will buff the Dead Bloom. And then the Dead Bloom would, I feel like, be sent over to the Watcher side because
I think so.
The other side, they can just save the Kaisa with the Reaver's Row, and you want to get rid of the biggest body on Ali's arsenal anyway.
Absolutely. Yeah, because we're going to be, Ali is going to be getting that hold point to 7 this turn, as we can see. So they're just going to need to conquer that other battlefield. If you effectively give your opponent a free retreat, that's not a recipe for success. So Enrique does see the same line that you do, Charmer. Now going to get that 4th point here, and now it's Dead Bloom versus the world. See if it's going to be able to hold. We see at least 1 discipline. At least is going to have access to that discipline this turn on defense. Is it going to be enough to stop the Bleeding Hero? Is Ali going to take this game number 3?
I don't think it will be. I'm trying to look at the hand here. There is a Darius with a cleave, which does go up to 10.
Yep, which is already contesting. would be contesting the Dead Bloom plus Master Yi. So that would be
Yeah, so then you would just
itself.
need something to get over the Discipline. I only see a Stupefy, though.
Yeah, so this actually may not be over yet, although we do have the retreat. So do we have enough to retreat, accelerate Kaisa and Darius? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Darius.
Not
retreat.
for both.
Yeah, no,
You'd
we
have
don't.
to have 11, and
Yeah.
Ali does not have 11 runes.
Nope. So that line is out of the play. So all of a sudden, this is a game again.
Also notably, retreat and then accelerating Kaisa with the Darius would still not get over Dead Bloom plus Discipline. That would only be 11 at that point.
True.
So that would be a blowout loss for Ali.
Yeah. Well, we will see what Ali is going to go for here.
It would not surprise me if we see the Stupefy just played early to dig
Yeah.
and then decide. Yeah.
Oh, but playing it on the White Flame did not have to pay the energy cost.
Yeah, I like that. Avoid the deflect. You just want to dig. See if you can find something better. Unfortunately, it is the draw 2 cards,
Yep, consult the
hidden.
past. Okay. Different game plan changed. We're playing defense.
So this is interesting. There's also the Void Seeker and 3 runes up for Ali. We'll be fortifying everything possible on this
Is there a Void
Reaver's
Seeker?
Row.
I think that's a Falling Star.
No, it's I'm 99% certain it's a Void Seeker. I'm sure.
I'm sure we will find out soon. We will find out soon.
But it's worth noting that Enrique now, so it was Dead Bloom against World. Now Enrique just has to take the other location.
Yeah.
I was about to say, we know there's a second White Flame, so this is going to go up to 16.
Yeah, that's
and then
pretty
be
big.
shipped. And then if there's runes left up, and there is,
Yep.
potentially a Discipline as well. So the draw 2 cards hidden is defied, so Raven Bloom also does not get buffed. And that's really important because if that would have went off and you had the Void Seeker, Darius would have got +2 might as well.
True.
So that defy was massive.
Yes. That is also definitely a Falling Star. We do have the recall there, and Reaver's Row only allows 1 unit to go back. That is the Darius. Our RB's manager not able to do it, getting canned there, and now Ali is on the back foot. Are they going to be able to stop this double hold? They need to stop at least one of these to stay alive in this match. There's accelerated Kaisa to start it off.
Yeah, should have enough firepower to at least prevent the double hold because we know there's also the cleave. So Kaisa plus the cleave is, going to take the total might up to 14.
Yep.
Which even with a Discipline would be enough to get over the top of either of these.
Right.
Don't even have to commit the cleave right away. You can also just play the second card. In this case, looks like it's going to be an accelerated Kaisa.
Sure. Yeah, and that's...
Oh, interesting.
So that is 7, 11, 15 versus 12.
So Enrique, again, does not take the Reaver's Row trigger because that is what Ali attacked. Instead, plays the Discipline on the White Flame, knows it will result in a losing combat, but gets rid of enough units on the side of Ali to potentially allow for a retake because the hold point will take Enrique to 7.
Yep.
The White Flame, if it can get over the top, would result in a win for Enrique
well,
here.
Ali's got
And
nothing.
there is no runes left. I was about to say no runes left for Ali, so that might have been a game-winning defense.
Yeah. Game-winning Discipline, able to just take out enough units to stop. Ali was hoping that only one of them were going to do it. There it is.
Handshake. So congratulations to Enrique taking down the Kaisa player on Aurora Yi while never resolving in Aurora, which